My name is Kelsey Peltzter. I'm a sixth grade science teacher at San Marcos Middle School. What I value about science teaching and learning is really fostering students' critical thinking skills. That's the biggest thing for me. When we're teaching science the way that we teach it here, we're focusing on phenomenon, and we go through a process that is really a natural thinking process that everyone does. We notice something interesting, we wonder about it, we ask questions, we try to figure out the answers to our questions, and it goes through a cycle. Critical thinking is not just about science. It is really important in science, but it connects to everything else kids are going to be doing in their lives, other subjects, and then beyond school as well.
Your job as the facilitator is to keep the conversation going, okay? So you have two things. And I know every one of you is good at this. Two things is to ask some questions, to present some questions to your group, and get the group talking about what we're supposed to be talking about, brainstorming. The second job for the facilitator is to make sure that everybody's voice is part of the discussion.
So this unit is about thermal energy, and the anchoring phenomenon is we have two cups. We have a regular cup and a fancy cup. These are plastic cups, and they would be the kind of cups that you get when you go to a Starbucks or a coffee shop. And we notice that one cup does better at keeping things cold than the other one.
Is light a form of energy? If we're not sure, let's take a look at our word wall. Is light a form of energy?
That is the anchoring phenomenon. And it's a very simple phenomenon compared to other ones, but it needs to be simple because the kids are really going to dive really deep into thermal energy and particles and kinetic energy. These are really big, important concepts. So the phenomenon is simple so that we can do these things in our classroom and then learn these big ideas.
What could be making that liquid change temperature if we know that it's a closed system?
So the learning goal for this lesson is for students to develop initial models about their ideas on how energy affects matter in a closed system. So we work together to generate some ideas, different types of energy that might be affecting it, and then they move towards individual models that show their ideas.
Okay, I'm seeing a lot of people agree. So can anybody build on, say a little bit more about that idea about sunlight, Cecilia?
The hot water went down by 55.4 degrees, and the cold water went up by 38.1 degrees, so the hot water had a bigger change.
What is really essential for this lesson is student voice. So what I'm doing to lead up to students developing their initial models is I'm doing a lot of things to generate those ideas in student voice and then leverage them out to the whole class. So some things that I'm using are wait time. I'm giving time for students to really process and look at things and think about it.
Oh, so not just cold, but can hot get through too? So if we put it in something where it's hot around it?
And the other really big one that I'm doing is I'm leveraging group talk first. So I have students work together and brainstorm, trying to be really explicit about what their goal is while they're in their groups, and giving them some tools to have these discussions to then share them out with the whole class.
Okay, what happens? Oh, it goes through into the air. What we'll do right now is we're going to create some models to think about how this actually might happen.
I'm really hoping that teachers see that they can put the thinking onto their students and really trust that their students can do this. This is a sixth grade classroom, And my students, they don't have a lot of science experience coming from elementary school, but you can see them generating these ideas on their own. We can use their experiences that they have in all different aspects of their diverse lives in science. They know a lot about science. They know a lot about how the world works, and they're bringing that to our classrooms. And I think if we can trust in our students more, we can see how much they can do and how much they can say. Instead of us just telling them everything, we can have students generate those ideas, and it's much more powerful that way. One huge way to support students from all these different special groups and backgrounds is really that student voice. So having students talk to each other, having students explain things in their own ways, using their own words, their own vocabulary, that's going to help all students in the classroom catch on to what we're talking about. Something like modeling that we were doing today, it's a different modality for students to show their thinking. So that's going to support all learning styles as well. When we're talking about it together, we're generating a list together and then doing it individually, that's going to help all of our students as well. Using student language, leveraging student talk, having students show their thinking in different ways. So again, the modeling is going to help students get their ideas out there in a way that is not really structured writing or speaking. I love teaching because I think education is so important for all of us, but I love hearing these kids talk about this stuff. I always learn something new from my kids every day, and that's the truth. They're just so interesting, they come with these interesting ideas, and when they get excited and when they figure stuff out, that's really exciting for me too.